next let's talk about some of the things that I can do to make my worksheet look better. I've got all my data here, but it's really pretty plain looking, and I want this to look great when I'm presenting it. So I have a lot of the same formatting options that I did in Word, things like font and font size, color, but then I have a few different things as well. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to select my information here, and I'm going to change the font. Let's go to Helvetica New. Now, you can see that by changing the font, this made it so some of my things don't fit in their columns anymore. So I'm going to select all these columns, and I'm just going to double click them so that the columns fit correctly. That actually made this profit one a bit thinner than I want it to be, so I'm going to undo that. And I'm just going to do it to these individual ones. There we go. Now, another option that I have is alignment. And it's the same sort of options left, center, and right that I had in Word, but it's aligning it within the cell rather than within the entire sheet. So I'm going to select column A, and I'm going to right align that. So it's nice and tight up against the side there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select row 1, and I'm going to center that one. Okay. Now, this is something that it's not immediately noticeable, and so it's important to know about. When I look at this worksheet, I see these grid lines. I see the lines that separate the different columns and the lines that separate the rows. But in truth, those aren't actually going to be there when I print it. Now, to demonstrate that, I'm just going to go up to File, and I'm going to say I want to print this. But rather than print it from here, I'm going to say that I want to see this as a PDF. And so this will show you what this would actually look like printed. And here you can see I don't have any lines. And that can make it a little difficult to see what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close that again. And actually I've decided I want row 1 to be left aligned and a little bit wider. One nice thing, you can select multiple rows and drag one of them, and it adjusts the size for all of them. Okay, so I need to add some lines in here. The way I do that, these are called borders, and it's this button here that looks like this dotted window pane. The dotted means there's nothing there right now. So I'm going to select these cells. Well, let's do it away from here just to demonstrate. I'm going to select these, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to say I want all the outside borders. And you'll see it puts a dark line around the outside. Or I want just the left border. And there it is. Or I want all of them. And there they are. So this will make it print that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just select this data here. And I'm going to say I want all borders there. And there's my borders. Now if I want more options on the borders, I can click on where it says border options. And in here I can adjust things like the color and things like that. So that's good enough for me right now. Another thing that I can do to sort of liven this up a little bit is what's called a shading or a fill. If I select this cell, this little paint can, if I click it, it's going to turn yellow. The yellow underneath it is the color will change, but if I click the arrow to the right, you'll see that I've got the same as I did for my font colors in Word. Here's all my theme colors, standard colors, or more colors to pick any color that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select here, and I'm going to hold down Command and select here. So I've got all my labels selected, and I'm going to just make this black. Now I've got an immediate problem. I can no longer read my labels, right? So I'm going to go ahead and reselect that. And just to the right of my shading, I'm going to change the color of the text to white. And I'm going to go ahead and make them bold too so it stands out a little more. So you can see that I have a much more interesting looking spreadsheet coming here. Now one other option we have is this direction of the text. I'm going to select these top labels, and I'm going to say I want these to angle clockwise. Like you say, go vertical, rotate, whatever I want to do. And angle them clockwise, and you can see that gives it a little more interesting look to it as well. So a lot of options that I have here for, prettying it up, making it look more professional and ready to present. If I come and I do a print again and see this as a PDF, you can see that now it's going to print like this, much more stylized than I had it originally.